Hey, how's it going? Today is 16th of July, and we're taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find. In the previous video, we were taking a look at energy production potentially, and some of those parts of the world currently are struggling when it comes to energy capacity and how much energy they can produce for many reasons. Since there was some press releases, I thought I'll touch on what's happening in Ukraine and more in particular that would be UK's ambassador for EAIA. That is the name there, statement of the International Atomic Energy Agency Extraordinary Board of Governors meeting on Ukraine. So let's try to understand what this article is all about. On 8th of July, Russia have launched another prolonged and deadly missile attack against cities across Ukraine, including Kiev, that is the capital, as well as other cities. That's 41 people lost their lives, with over 170 injured. An attack hit critical and national infrastructure and all civilian buildings, including most Igrilovsky medical facilities. Okay. There's a lot of information. I'm not entirely sure if it might be important, but if anything, I would like to understand the hard data, so that would be where things are, but perhaps that's not necessarily be available and all publicly shared information, right? When we take a look at critical infrastructure, right? Throughout Russia's illegal war in Ukraine, Russia have attacked Ukrainian infrastructure and North civilian buildings as deliberate attacks in war. Perhaps Russia has been surprised by the level of revulsion at the latest attack. It seems cowardly of the Russians also with the fake news rather than owning its actions. Unfortunately, this is the same absurdity we had seen the Russian spokesperson is efforts of nuclear safety after having taken Ukrainian nuclear power plant by force, right? I'm not entirely sure what I'm interested of that would be numbers, so where things are. I thought I'll touch on it, but either way, so I think when it comes to energy output, there is a lot of plans when it comes to solar panels and having those solar panels on top of schools and hospitals, all these kind of things, right? But I thought it would be energy production and where things are as of now, perhaps 10 or so gigawatts currently are being produced within Ukraine, and there might be, if not right now, perhaps in the future, there will be a massive demand for smaller new modular reactors, right? Something that we were taking a look at in a previous video. Once that has been said, let's progress to the next article. Coming back to UK, key priorities that were accepted by new government, that would be housing and or transport. So let's take a look at both of these areas and some of the actions that are being taken as of now by the government to address that. Some of the articles that I managed to find that would be residents move into solar house. Okay. Micro homes in the UK as the council continues to tackle a housing crisis. So that would be kind of summer area and people catching waves, as well as they might have interesting projects that could be launched. Let's try to understand. I haven't read it, so it might be of interest to many. A new development of 18 purpose-built solar house modular homes as a part of Trinquel Hill car park in the UK has been opened to its first new residents. I don't know for how long people can live there, if they can live for 12 months or entire year, or it would be that it's something that they can do only for summer. So something that I would be interested in understanding, but that would be something that the council themselves published. There might be a private business, but I'm just interested to understand some of those things happening, right? As well as I was taking a look at previously innovative ideas how to build your office and all kind of shipping containers, all this kind of things. So we can take a look at this article and let's try to understand. I haven't read it before. Yeah. Each development provides modular homes with outside space, utilizing low carbon heating technologies. The home are specifically intended to help those with history of homelessness who are ready to move on from emergency accommodations or other provision, and will help reduce the need of place people, perhaps some of the expensive places, right? So nightly paid hotels and all the potentially housing. So this particular problem they're looking to solve, as well as new ways of building houses where those houses can be manufactured at scale, put on a lorry potentially and brought over, in this case, to Newquay, and they can build those houses very fast. I know cheap, at least it should. I don't know about prices, right? This is how things should work on the paper, but not necessarily that's the way how things have been done. Following a landmark deal with award-winning house builders. Okay, I'm not promoting any of those businesses, right? Cornwall Council has bought solar house homes to provide secure, comfortable homes and all follow accommodations of local people and more progress out of emergency housing, helping them to regain their independence. So I'm interested in prices, but they're not necessarily interested in discussing that. Specifically designed modular homes provide safe, comfortable, and independent space for residents and arrive fully furnished, ready to install onto pre-prepared site designed for house single people. The home have a 60-year lifespan and are built for future home standards, exceeding building regulations for energy efficiency and sound insulations, which is great. And the place itself, where they look into, where I'm taking this information from, it's a very nice place, by the way. But I don't know about the house, but I don't know the prices again, how much it will cost, and how many permissions you need to get from local council, those kind of things. Following on the front of the first solar house development in Truro, this second scheme at Trigunel will be complemented by two more under construction, one in Penzance and one in Penryn, and in developed as a move-on site to provide safe and or secure homes for people in urgent housing need. Let's close this. There might be some data perhaps of importance, but I don't know. There might be a private business, but it's good that they're doing something, right? So if there is a council knows about some of those issues and they're looking to address this issue, 60 years, perhaps reasonable, depending on the price. I would say perhaps 5,000. I don't know how much is the houses cost. Material cost, perhaps 2,000. So I don't know how much they're looking to make, or, as well as land and or rent of land, and all on top of that, or other things like solar panels and or heating, water, all these kind of things, right? But let's progress to take a look at transport. Two priorities that was highlighted for Southwest was housing and transport. So let's take a look at transport, and it would be particularly bus transport and what could be done better. There are a lot of different projects across Europe, something that I understand very well as they perhaps managing and operating things differently compared to. I haven't read this article, by the way, but I think that main priority would be things that small things that can make big impact. At least this is my understanding. That would be perhaps timing, right? So if there's would be a light, and the light will at the bus station and or bus stop would say that the bus gonna arrive at this particular time, and this bus gonna need to be there on time. I think that's one of the highest priorities. I haven't read this article, but I think that's where things gonna go. Not necessarily, perhaps they should have looked to upgrade the entire fleet, but not necessarily that would be very high investment compared to timing and all these kind of things, right? But either way, let's take a look at this article. Transport Secretary kickstart bus revolution as a promise to support the local leaders to deliver better bus up and down the country. So perhaps upgrading entire fleet maybe. Our plan will create a new safe, vital bus routes by allowing communities to take back control over bus services throughout franchising of public ownership. Okay, that's kind of interesting, I guess. Louise, however, is named there, visited Great Manchester on her first official visit with the pledge to support local leaders to deliver better buses. I don't think there was a problem, but perhaps they're just looking to take a look at who would like to run this kind of services, right? I don't think there was a problem, but perhaps, I don't know. Under the government's plan, local transport authorities across the country will be empowered to take back control of buses. The Transport Secretary will see firsthand how Greater Manchester P network has boost reliability and no passenger numbers. So we can take a look at the entire article and let's try to understand what's gonna be happening, right? I haven't read this article, right? Transport Secretary is named visits Great Manchester today, 11th of July 2024, to begin government's bus revolution. Okay, revolution is never a good word, right? As she pledged to support every community to take back control of the bus throughout the franchising of public ownership. She will meet with the mayor of Great Manchester. There's a name that you discuss how the area B network can be replicated across the country to deliver better services, grow passenger numbers, and drive opportunity to underserved regions. The Transport Secretary will pledge to create safe, vital bus routes up and down the country, calling time on the failed systems to the regulations that has been since the levels of plummet, and plans will also bring end to the postcode lottery of bus services by providing safeguards over local networks across the country. I don't know. It seems very strange because they're looking to you perhaps to make it as a business that we should run for profit, right? If it's to bus services to operate as a business to run for profit, some of the routes will disappear since it's not profitable. So I don't know. So this is the way how I'm looking at it. Most likely it would disappear. If it's not profitable, no one will do it. But either way. Launched in September 2003 as a first bus franchise in England outside London, the integrated B network has delivered the local people by growing passenger numbers and improving reliability of local bus services. This has already been passengers numbers grow by 5% in the first area of TB franchise, with revenue following suit. The Transport Secretary will see firsthand how the successful of the B network can be reliable across the country, improving services and handling power back or giving power back to people or just handful of people, right? The Transport Secretary will also hear directly the challenge faced by Great Manchester during franchise journey. But overall format, I like format, but they're looking to run tests, and if those tests seems to be work better, they might be considering rolling out wider area tests, right? Starting with, I think it's Greater Manchester, right? So small test and progressing to larger test. I completely agree with that. It just, I don't know, I'm not using its services, so perhaps I should be using it more, I guess, if it's reliable and safe. But I guess, but I don't know if they're gonna be doing it for profit. Perhaps, but upgrading entire fleet, all these kind of things. If government gonna have to do it, private individuals might be interested in doing it and making some money, I guess, for their work. Greater Manchester endured a 6-year slog to deliver local control of bus services due to uncertainty barriers. The government plan will remove these barriers to better buses can be delivered faster. Okay. I guess it's great. I'm interested if it can do without buses. Can they operate without bus drivers? Perfect. I completely agree with this kind of plan. But it might, perhaps would need additional investments, all these kind of things, right? These people who are drivers of buses, perhaps they're enjoying what they're doing, of course. I have seen some of those videos and recent interviews about how excited they are. But perhaps there is an option for these people to do something else if they're interested in doing that, and slowly over time we can progress into other positions instead of spending so much time behind the wheel. So I would agree completely with this particular plan, not necessarily one that we are taking a look at, but perhaps after the incremental process. Step one, give it to different companies to manage these operations, and those companies would be looking to optimize the services, reducing some of the costs, and changing entire fleets where buses would be operated perhaps remotely or without a driver, right? Perhaps after the incremental process. The B network is also boosting Manchester's. There's a particular area in May. It will record its buses month in its 32-year history with 4.1 million passengers using iconic yellow trams, higher than the previous record of 4 million set before the pandemic in 2019. But either way, so they achieving major milestones, but if anything, perhaps small incremental steps of some of those people who are interested in operating some of the services, including bus services, and perhaps there are some people who understand this industry very well, and perhaps they can run some of the services better. But if it would be for profit, perhaps how some of the people are gonna get to places if from far distant areas of UK. I don't know about this, but either way, let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.